All right, with that, we are ready to roll. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're enjoying your weekend. We're back again with some Mega Man X 100% for the SGL tournament, running out our quarter final for our second bracket, and we have POISONCURLS versus Fly tonight. Both runners with a 35, really high on the leaderboard. You have Poison coming in with a 35-42, and Fly coming in with a 35-45. So 3 seconds apart. Should be a great race. And just like that, we are moving. So welcome everybody back to everyone's favorite intro stage, running down the highway. Gonna see a lot of mashing and a lot of lag reduction strats tonight. So we have all of these dudes flying at us. Take care of them pretty quickly, and then you'll have a larger blue enemies, a lot more health. So we're gonna see some really fast mashing techniques. Both runners just trying to clear everything off the screen as soon as they can to try and help with that lag reduction. And just like that, we are on to our bees. Now, the bees have several different patterns. You see a passive, which is where they stand still and drop the enemies. You have a missile, where they stand still and shoot the missile. And then you have one where he just runs at you with a machine gun. Both players taking it a little bit safe just to make sure they're getting through it. Fly opting to let the bee fall. A little more laggy, but again, if you get a bad pattern, there's not much you can do. But they're moving right along. These blocks do break under your feet. So we're going to try to do everything we can to just jump on the edges, not make them break. And we keep on rolling. So you see POISONCURLS at 2 health. Optimally, we want 3 or less health. Fly is setting up for what's known as TASCAR. And just like that, he's setting it up perfectly. So, Poison, again, not having the opportunity to do that. It saves about a half a second, but it is somewhat of a tricky trick. But both getting down to the lower health, so now we get to go and meet our friend Vile. He's going to bully us for a little bit, but don't worry, we'll be back to have our revenge. Now, Vile has a few different patterns. You see Fly getting a good one where he decides to dash at you. Sometimes he just decides to take a coffee break and jumps off screen. You're going to lose a few seconds, but again, RNG, what can you do? But both players demonstrating exactly how we want to get through that stage. Our boy Zero hopping in here, saving the day once again. He's like, hey, X, what are you doing, man? Can't be running off on us like that. Eventually, you'll be able to take care of it, but you're not quite strong enough yet. So let's see if we can get upgraded. And we teleport out and off to our first stage. Now, Chill Penguin, again, we don't have the dash boots yet. So you're going to see some weird movement optimizations. It might look like they're running backwards, but they're actually trying to get slope jumps. Anytime you're going down a hill, you have a slight increase in speed. So we'll try and use that as much as we can. But otherwise, we just run, jump, and shoot. Classic Mega Man. Now, speaking on the lag front, we have these bees, or not bees, bats. Bats create intense amounts of lag in this game, so we want to have 2 or less on screen. If you have anything more than that, you're going to start to see things slow down. So we're going to optimize that entire falling section, get rid of as much as we can. You can see some of these turnaround jumps. They can be a little tricky to execute, but both players moving right along. And we kill everything, and we are on to our first upgrade. If you're a fan of the series, you know here's where we get the dash boots. No sliding in this game. You're going to see a pretty tight trick moving up here. So as they go, there's an ostrich and a flying guy that's going to line up called the no-stop hallway. Fly getting a little stuck there. If you time it right, you'll be able to get the shot. But again, it's a really difficult trick. But just like that, we're in our mech, trying to take the top here just to get a little bit of speed so that we don't have to climb a wall. Fly opting for those turnarounds, again, getting that little bit of height and speed increase off of the backwards movement. And we are on to our boss door. Now, Penguin has a lot to him. Penguin casually is probably one of the easier fights, but in a speed run, he can be one of the most annoying. You have several patterns. He can either slide across the floor, jump up into the air, throw some ice blocks at you, or breathe like you're seeing on Fly's screen. Both of these runners showing you the optimal damage strats you can do with the charge all the way up to the yellow. A dash lemon is going to do double damage, but a blue shot is going to do the most damage. Unfortunately, poison taking a death. Again, it's really hard to read those patterns, but you do what you can and you adjust. But with that, Fly showing a really, really solid execution, and he's going to go on to Boomer Kawanger. Let's hope Poison gets a better pattern this time. Plenty of time for them both to make up later on in the run. I mean, this can go either way. There's several routes for this game. I'm sure you've seen Iceful and Iceless, but we're going to see the optimized route, which is called C3, from both runners tonight. And that can be a real gamble, but high risk, high reward. Poison moving right on through. Awesome. He'll be joining him on Kawanger stage. We're going to try and jump as soon as we can as you look on Fly's screen to try and get around all of these missiles that are flying at you. That's what we call turtle skip, and perfectly executed. It can be a little hard to get that first jump, but otherwise he's moving right along. Another fun little trick that's pretty much exclusive to this stage, but if you jump and you hit jump again while in the air, when you're next to a spike wall, you'll do the damage animation, but you won't take the damage. So you can use that to kind of cheese your way through there. But we're starting our outside climb. A lot of ice, a couple charge shots, just try and get everything out of your way. Fly, unfortunately, getting hit. Again, it's tough on the timing. We see Poison going through turtle skip. Again, perfectly executed. Well done. And we are on to Iceless. Second try Iceless with a really good setup for the second attempt. So that's really solid. And I'll go ahead and explain the Kawanger fight when Poison gets there. But for your Iceless jump, essentially there's a 7-pixel wall kick. So you can pick when you're not technically touching the wall by 1 pixel. You want to line up that jump. It's a very, very specific distance, and then you have to only pick 2 different pixels on that wall. One of the most challenging tricks in this entire game. But for him to get it second try, especially in a race, very, very well done. Let's see what Poison gets. Really close. There we go. Third try, totally fine. And he's going to keep on going up. Now we get to start checking out C3 here for Fly's side of the screen. And then Poison's moving on to the Kawanger fight. Kawanger likes to headbang. He likes to dance. So if we shoot a charge shot as we start the fight, and then we dash right at him, we can trick him into a continuous headbang, and then we just, dance it out. Now halfway through the fight, he is going to start teleporting, as you saw on Fly's screen. You can technically tango the entire time. It is RNG. It looks like he's getting a good fight. Fly setting up for C3. Phantom grabs are an incredibly advanced technique in this game. Essentially, we're going to throw a boomerang, and we're going to pick up an item. We want to pick up that item, like have the boomerang touch us at the exact next frame an item spawns onto the screen. In this case, it would be the heart. And if you do it right, first try, fantastic. If you do it right, it'll spawn that heart into your boomerang, and you are right on your way. The most difficult trick in the game, and just fantastic execution from Fly. Now that trick does require some RNG. We need the item to drop from the little spider guy. So Fly had to do a couple setups, but again, nothing you can do about that. taking care of Green Biker Dad. Let's see how this goes for Poison. Looks like he's getting similar on the drop pattern. And almost had it. Really, really close. Again, you have one frame of movement, so you have to make sure you're in the exact right spot. But he's going to go ahead and keep going back, try and get that worked out. Fly's going to keep on moving through the cave section. Now, since we took care of Green Biker Dad, we don't have to deal with all of that falling rubble on our heads. So we can just jump right on through. No real cause for worry. Now, for the 100% category, we do require revisit because we have to get that Hadoken capsule. So we want to always pick up that that life that you saw Fly grabbing. We're going to need that later on when we explain the Hado revisit. Fly doing his mud run, having a little bit of trouble with the mech guy, but he can be frustrating. Looks like Poison opting for Iceless route. Always a smart play. And we get to see Magic Carpet. So he's going to do that exact same Phantom Grab, but with a much easier setup. And we actually grab one of the elevators as we're picking up the heart. So he's going to use that to fly through pretty much half of the stage. And Eagle has several different spots that we're going to stop. So we have to get the heart. There's that extra capsule tank we saw there. And then we also have the helmet upgrade here. Now, the helmet's pretty much useless, but we do use it a few different times. Mainly on the next stage, Mammoth, where we have to grab the Buster upgrade. And we have to break something in with our head. And he's going to move right along, getting a good carpet. Sometimes that guy can get right in your way as you're coming back. But he's taking that extra life due to his, well, death before. So good backup strategy. And we will see what kind of RNG he gets. Eagle does a few different things. The first thing you'll see is him gusting his wings at you. So he'll kind of drag you across the screen. You'll see tornadoes that he shoots at you. And then he'll also decide to dive. Now, he can dive multiple times. It is really RNG. What we want to see is for him to stay on the ground the whole time. So you can see Poison getting a pattern where he's going to unfortunately go up into the air. That is time loss, but it's not exactly something you can fight. Fly executing his magic carpet really well. He's moving right along. Oh man. Scary stuff. Missing the kick on there, but he's able to save it. So as long as he doesn't take that death, that's all he's worried about. Very well done. Getting back onto that carpet can be a little bit scary because you are kicking on the side. Looks like Poison getting about average RNG on that Eagle fight, so that's good. He's going to go ahead and move right along to Mammoth. And then we'll see what kind of RNG Fly ends up with here. Now, Mammoth stage, again, one of the more technical stages, but not super difficult. It's very, very linear, so there's no mini-bosses or anything like that. But with proper executed movement, you're going to see some really, really fast dodging on these platforms, the conveyor belt. And hopefully, we'll get right on through it. And there's the use of that helmet upgrade. And we'll see what Fly gets here. Now, since Fly opted for C3, he gets to do essentially the any percent fight. You have the desired weakness weapon of Eagle, so he's not going to have as much time to fly around. So everything should work out pretty well. And you can see just how quickly he gets through that. Poison starting a nice sled to go ahead and grab our tank for this stage, and then we're going to move on to the heart upgrade. Very, very close to getting a phantom grab on that heart, but it is really difficult. Now, these platforms, they shoot left and right, so you want to dash as long as you can on the ones going right, and then you want to just get off of the ones going left. We're going to charge up an ice sled, drop it on his head, and we are moving right on to Mammoth. Now, Mammoth is one of those bosses that's actually pretty close to TAS on execution, just because of his iframes and the length of the tornado weapon. If we do it right, we're going to see 2 hits per tornado that comes out of the Buster here. So And a fun fact for anybody who didn't do it casually, you can actually use a boomerang and shoot it at Mammoth. It's going to cut his nose off. Not something you get to see in a speed run, but it is pretty fun to do once in a while. All right, and with that, he is off to Mandrill. Let's see if Fly can get this very, very close as well. One missed a little to the right, and one missed a little to the left. But either way, we're moving right along. Fly, you can see some of the benefit to that C3 route here, because you don't have to worry about killing things. We have the charged C-Sting, so we can just charge up and go right through it. Makes you invulnerable for a few seconds. Now, Poison, moving on to Mandrill stage. Mandrill does have a mini-boss. It does have a heart and the extra tank here. So we're going to see some kind of weird fights, but again, optimal movement is really, really interesting on this stage. We're coming up to what's called no-stop hallway. But it looks like Poison opting for the tornado strat. You only lose about a second, but it makes it very, very consistent. He is on to Thunder Slimer. Fly doing what he can to try and get Mammoth off screen, try to save some of that lag on the explosion. And there we go. In and out of Thunder Slimer. Awesome. So now we're moving right along. Again, very linear stage, but you see a lot of this technical movement. Try to optimize your jump height. Ooh, he does get the Paul Heart. Paul Heart's pretty hard to get. So when it comes to Mandrill stage, the heart grab, you normally have to jump up and grab it, or you can use a boomerang against the right wall. But Poison, getting a swaggerang, he can jump and manipulate his jump height to try and get that boomerang to jump back up into the air halfway through his descent. And then you can grab the heart. Saves about a second. Now, Fly is opting for his revisit. You're going to have to come back to the Penguin stage at some point here. Since we have that C-Sting, we can go ahead and do that early. But he's going to go ahead and break this Eagle fire, and he does not have to come back. Poison taking care of Mandrill. We'll go ahead and explain that once Fly gets back there. But he's going to be moving on to Armored Armadillo. All right. Fly showing you some of that crazy tech using all the fire wave. And again, a little bit of C-Sting goes a long way. He doesn't have to worry as much on this no-stop hallway. He can just breeze right through the first half of it. Now, Dillo's stage has a couple different tricks. We might do booty grab here. We'll see what Poison opts for. But we're going to ride that cart and shoot a boomerang here. Go for another phantom grab. Very close. But that trick does involve a ton of RNG because we need a drop from those bats. And you have to line up exactly on the right spot on that left wall. So one of the more difficult tricks. But he's moving right along. Fly breezing through Thunder Slimer. Again, you have his weakness, the tornado, so you just shoot 2 charges and 1 regular, and you're right on your way. Fly going for Paul Hart, unfortunately not getting it. But again, we're only saving 1 second-ish with that, so everything's fine. And now Poison going through the second cart section. Now there are a bunch of bats. If you played this game casually, you know exactly how laggy they are. By jumping at the exact right time, he does not have to worry about that. He's keeping the trigger for them. So he just jumps a few times, cuts all the lag, and keeps going. Now, we saw Mandrill before, but let's go ahead and explain this briefly. Mandrill actually has some really, really short iframe, but a long ice animation. So if you do it right, you'll get 2 shots before he unfreezes. Makes really quick work of it. Yellow not giving Poison too hard of a time, but he did decide to roll around. It's unfortunate, but you know what? He handled the situation accordingly. And with that, I believe Fly is on to Dillo as well, and then Poison's going to move on to the Octo stage. Octo is the only stage you really get to experience the water gimmick in this game. It makes you jump really high. And there's going to be several mini-bosses in this stage. So we have some submarines that you're going to have to deal with. And then 2 mini-boss fights. Let's see if Fly can get his... Almost. Really doing everything you can to try and get that booty grab. It's a hard trick. Poison's moving on to our first submarine. So we're going to try and bait him to throw out snakes. Unfortunately, Poison not getting the setup, but that's totally fine. We throw some rolling shields, and he's right out of our way. Charging up some electric spark, and you stand still. Oh boy, that was a close to spike jump. That was scary. But taking care of it without much issue. Your heart is actually hidden on this stage. We need to jump up and kill this boat that you see above us, but we can use a charged tornado to kill it ahead of time instead of going all the way up top. And we get to fight the snake here. 1 charged tornado into his head, everything's good. And I hope you like the fight, because we're about to do it again. Now on Fly's side, Dillo, again, he has his shield around him, his armor. If you use the electric spark, his weakness, you're going to go ahead and blast that right off of him. He can roll as long as he wants, upwards of 32 seconds. The Fly getting a pretty good pattern. Now he's vulnerable. So nice, quick, and easy. And Poison is onto the Octo fight. Octo can be trolling. He's either going to stay on the ground and throw a bunch of stuff at you, or he's going to jump into the air and do a swirly. If he does a swirly, we're losing time. But in general, looks like Poison getting a really, really solid Octo fight. Making his way back to the middle of the stage. Again, you want to be in the middle of the stage when everything ends, similar to your classic Mega Man. Or else we have to do a little bit of a walk. But without getting any kind of swirls, that's a really solid fight from Poison. Now Fly, again, using that C3 route, he gets to pretty much instantly kill these submarines. It really, really does make it that much faster. But he can stand right in the middle of them and just start shooting. And just like that, he's done. Now Poison returning to Chameleon stage again. Not doing the C3, but now you can see there's water all over the place thanks to Octo being defeated. So he'll be able to come up here to Green Biker Dad and then make his way down and jump across to the heart. Green Biker Dad, lovingly named after Mega Man X2's intro Green Biker Dude. Kind of a fan favorite in the X community. Has really, really late iframes. So you think you're good, but you really do have to shoot him slower. So all of those timed out shots, trying to get it as fast as you can. 7 lemons, 5 lemons, or 17 boomerangs and 18 boomerangs. It depends which strat you're going for. But real quick on through. Let's see him go grab that heart. And we'll see what Fly gets as far as Octopus. Again, if we can see anything like what we saw on Poison's side, a really, really solid fight. Oh, and unfortunately, you're right into a swirly. You hate to see it, but you know what? You do what you can. Now, if he does decide to swirl you, you can use the fire weapon and just constantly shoot that. It'll cause him to only take 1 life pellet from you instead of essentially draining your entire life. So making good use of the fire wave. Otherwise, really solid fight. And with that, Fly is actually on to our revisits. Now, again, he did take care of the penguin earlier. So now all he has to worry about is going back to Armadillo. But Poison not far behind. So Zero popping down here to let us know, hey, we found Sigma's base. I'm heading over there. I'll meet you there soon. And you're like, all right, cool. I have to make a pit stop first. Now, I don't... To explain the Hadoken, right? So, again, hidden Easter egg in the game does require a few different things. So we have to complete 100% of our... Ooh, getting the booty grab. Fantastic. That saves about 7 seconds. Really, really difficult and super lucky, but awesome to showcase in a run. Anyways, back to the Hadouken. So we need to grab all of our heart containers, all of our extra health refill tanks. So that's 4 and 8. And then we need to grab all of our armor upgrades. And then we are on to this stage. Now, right at the end of the stage, there's a little ledge above the Armadillo door. We need to see that ledge a total of 5 times. You see it 1 time when you go into Dillo, and then we have to take 3 intentional deaths, and on the 5th time, you will see the tank show up. So, I don't know if you saw it, but it definitely was seen by the game. Really, really tight movement to try and jump, see the edge very, very momentarily, and then fall immediately to our deaths. And this is where that extra life that Poison picked up earlier is going to help. Should bring him pretty much back to his normal pace. But Poison wrapping up the heart grab as well on Penguin, so he is on to his revisit. Really, really tight visits from Fly. That is a very scary strat to execute. We'll see if Poison can get the booty grab. He might not opt for it. Again, can use the charge C sting now that he has it to just drop on down and go for it. And there we go, in the traditional C sting route. But he's moving right along. And I believe this is Fly's final revisit. The final requirement, which we didn't mention before, you do have to have full health on the 5th visit. So as long as you have all of your health there, the tank will show up for you. So again, we know exactly where these enemies are going to be. So as long as you're doing your jump, everything should be fine. And just like that, Dr. Light coming to hang out in his gi, telling us about his secret technique. There we go. And with that, we are on to our final 4 stages of the game, the Sigma Fortress. Sigma Fortress has a ton of tech. We'll try and explain everything as best I can. There's a lot that's going to happen in a very short amount of time. But Zero dropping down just to let us know, hey, all right, we're here. I'm going to go ahead. I'll meet you up there. And you're like, all right, cool. So we want to take as much damage as we can. Again, we're using specific spots just that we know are going to do higher points of damage. But we're going to be fighting Vile, and just like the original fight, we want to have low health. We need 6 or less. So you'll see them kind of killing everything to get the lag out of the way. Using a wall glitch by holding right, you'll just continuously take damage. And he's going to go ahead and move on to the boss encounter. Now, if you've played this casually, you know you climb up that ladder, Zero and Vile are going to drop down, and a cutscene's going to play, but we don't have time for that. So if we don't touch the floor, we don't have to watch it. The cutscene will start behind since we didn't touch the floor. A little bit of lag from that rolling shield just to give a little bit of input time, and then everything is set. So with that, Zero goes ahead and takes care of the mech. We don't have to do that fight. Life's good. I'm sure he's okay. And you're going to see your first Hado. Vile will always do the exact same sequence of events. He's going to jump over you. You're just going to dash or walk off to the right, and then throw a Hado right at him. Killing him off screen helps with some of that lag. Again, those explosions are a little lag heavy. But with that, we're going to go check up on our friend. Zero's like, hey man, I'm not doing so good. I don't think I'm going to make it. And I promise that's the last time you will see Zero in a Mega Man game. But we're going to swap to C-Sting. Now, C-Sting, again, giving us that vulnerability, lets you climb through this entire vertical section really, really quickly. Vertical movement in X1 is really difficult. You don't have the up dash that you have in the later games. So, optimal movement makes things a lot easier. The Wanger can be a troll. We're going to throw a Hotto, and you're going to have two patterns. Fly getting the optimal one where he just dashes at you. But occasionally he'll just start teleporting right away, and you are just stuck. You have to try and improvise. So, trying to kill some stuff for lag, but getting a couple drops in between. And we are on to Bow Spider. Yet another good example of RNG in this game. We have your poles that are all in the middle here. Bow Spider is going to randomly generate those webs and work his way down. Fly getting a really good pattern. If you see anything between 3 or less, that's really solid. And there was no little baby spiders thrown, so he's doing just fine. Poison, of course, coming in here to Vile, making short work of that. And we're on to Sig 2. Sigma 2 has a lot of really fun movement, but honestly, the best song in the game. Don't at me. But we're not going to hear much of it. It's a really, really short stage. We can pretty much use the Sea Sting or any random weapon in the scenario to fly through any enemy that's going to come at you. But we've got a couple refights. Penguin will always give us that exact same pattern. So we're going to walk momentarily, jump, and then throw a Hotto right in his face. And then we are going to move right on our way. Fly opting for some really crazy tornado strats to give you the option to go for gap jumps here. Now, if we haven't explained gap jumps yet, you're seeing them now. Jumping through a gap in the ladder there is faster than climbing, but there's 1 pixel on either side, so it's a really, really tight jump. Similar to what we had before, Eagle will always do the exact same pattern. We just dash a few times and throw a Hotto, and we are on our way to our final boss of the stage. Rangda Bangda, as you'll see here momentarily, has 2 eyes and a nose, and he is incredibly RNG heavy. We have 3 different colored eyes. We have a green eye, a red eye, and a blue eye. Blues are passive. They will just fly at you. That's what we want to see. Red eyes can fly at you, but oh, there we go. Getting the Hotto off. Red eyes can fly at you like you saw there. Unfortunately, it decided not to. But, again, get the shots you can. If you take care of the nose, the walls will not... Oh boy, almost taking a death there. Scary fight. But he gets a 1 cycle on the nose by getting those 4 shots by jumping left and right, and then makes short work of the red eye. So we'll see what Poison gets when he ends up here on Rangda. He can be a real troll. If you see a green eye, it's not good. It only shows up for a brief moment. You get 1 shot on it, and then it's on to the next cycle. Fly moving on to essentially the trick stage of this entire run. There is so much random stuff on this stage. Oh man, unfortunately missing the Dillo skip, so we will see if we can watch Poison do that later, and I'll go ahead and explain it. The Fly working his way through, Poison working his way through, getting a couple gap jumps. 2 out of 3, pretty solid. Fly having a little bit of trouble with Dillo again. Not something we planned for. We normally skip it, but gets it taken care of. Getting some Hottos on either side, and we go in for the air Hotto. Now, your air Hotto is a very special trick. When you do your Hadoken, you have to be on the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to essentially trick the game into thinking we're on the ground by throwing an ice sled. We're going to do our quarter circle. Unfortunately not getting it, but that's fine. We do our quarter circle forward, and then the shoot. You pause, switch to your buster, eliminates that ice sled. The game thinks we're on the ground for 1 frame. And as soon as you unpause, you shoot. I believe he just had a little trouble getting to left and right. The Fly opting for the extra little bit of health there again. Sig 3 tends to be a little friendly with that. If you do take a bonk, there is at least 1 health or at least 1 pellet throughout most of the run. like that. We're done. So let's see if Poison's able to get it. He is. So your Dillo skip happens when you come up. If you don't jump all the way up, you don't force the camera trigger to roll upwards. That's what spawns the boss. So we stay low. We shoot an ice sled. And then that pushes us just far enough into the door so that it triggers the movement through the door. But we don't actually spawn the boss because the ceiling is still so low. Showcasing the air Hotto for you as well. Really solid execution here from Poison on Sigma 3. These are all difficult tricks. You add all of the stress of racing or PBs on top of it, and yeah, it gets difficult. But Poison showing how you can make up a little bit of time here on Sig 3. We're really closing the gap. And we're on to Mammoth. Now Mammoth, again, same pattern as always. He'll just jump. You dash left or right, throw a Hotto, makes quick work of that. And we're on to D-Rex. D-Rex looks a lot more intimidating than he is. His front teeth are mainly just for fashion. They don't actually have a hitbox. So if we buffer our down and right input, we can actually jump right into his face and get a Hotto off. Just like that. And Fly is moving on to our final section of the game. Poison moving through Octo. Octo can jump at 3 different varying heights. Oh boy. Little early on the input, but it looks like he makes up for it just fine. And with that, Fly starts the final climb. So we have a series of jumps here. We can avoid all the enemies. We don't have to worry about that. But we're going to have a 3-segmented fight. The first round, of course, being against Sigma's dog, Velgarder, everyone's favorite doggo in the X series. And we're going to make short work of that. If we charge up this yellow shot, we can shoot off and force him backwards, and then instantly throw a Hadouken. He has really short iframes, and that fight is done. Sigma coming down, he's like, hey, all right, killed my dog, so now I'm going to take care of you myself. And we take care of him just as quick. See if Poison gets the Tom Dukin. He does. Minus that one little hiccup, that was a really solid Sigma 3 stage for POISONCURLS. So we are on to our final fight. You cannot Hadouken this Wolf Sigma. All we have is 16 rolling shields to his head. And these claws can be very trolly. They're going to go across the screen. They're going to shoot lightning. And sometimes they'll block you. Fly getting a pretty friendly pattern. Not bad. So we are coming up on time, and a 37.04 from Fly. Really solid race time. Anytime you can see a 38 or less, that's a really, really good time. It means you got most of the tricks. Fly, very, very well done. And with that, we watch Poison. So again, we took care of the dog. Sigma coming down. He's like, nah, I got this. Taking care of that, and we're on to 16 rolling shields. Flying Poison should be getting a message here to hop into comms. Poison getting some hands that really aren't too happy with him, but he's taking care of it, no problem. And just like that, we are on a... Oh, he's going for the charge up. A little bit of swag. A 38.19. Really solid run as well. Let's see if we can get everybody in here for comms. But make sure you go ahead and follow the runners. Yeah, great job from both of them. Poison making some good choices here to hop around and try to adjust his route on the fly. Not easy to make those decisions. And then Fly, getting the the C3, really does show you how much time that can save in the forefront. But Sigma 3, again, being a little crazy for both runners. So, pretty seat of your pants. All right, so I'm going to try and get everybody in here for comms, and let's go ahead and do that.
Yo.
There he is.
What's up, dude?
Hey, congratulations, my man.
Yo, thanks, my friend. Yo, GG, Poison.
Yeah, we'll see if Poison decides to join here shortly.
How,
He
there
is.
he is.
Oh, yo, GG, Fly.
GG, dude.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Really solid matchup, honestly. You guys were a little back and forth with the with the tech there on Sig 3. It was pretty cool watching Poison get a little catch-up.
Yeah, I missed everything in Sig 3 except Dom, dude.
Well, I mean, with that, Fly, you know, what do you think went well? What's your take on everything?
Everything went well except for Sig 3. And, dude, Poison. The third time in this tournament, I got booty.
Yo, nice, dude.
I literally can't get it in runs, but I've gotten it 3 times.
This is the first time I've died to Penguin in a tourney.
Oh, no, you died to Penguin?
Yeah, and they game overed on C3 and just decided to go E3.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man, it was bad. But I kept going, and I was hoping that you would, like, screw up somewhere, but then after you got Hado, I saw you had 3 lives. I'm like, dang, he's not gonna game over somewhere, so I'm screwed.
Dude, yeah, I picked up 2 lives before Penguin, and I was like, okay, I guess I can like mess around with C3. I got C3 first try. I got Carpet, although it was a little scuffed. Mammoth was a little scuffed. Mandrill's a little scuffed. But like, like minor hiccups here and there, but like pretty much everything big I hit, except I missed Dillo Skip and missed Air Hado.
Oh yeah, I saw you. I've got you down in the corner here, and I saw you miss Dillo Skip. I'm like, oh man, maybe I've got a chance. No.
Well, it did. Honestly, it really did close the gap a decent bit there towards the end. Because Poison, you nailed your Sig 3, minus that little hiccup with Octo.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And Spark. I didn't dash out of the way, and he just jumped right on top of me.
Yeah.
Poison, you don't you don't bail on C3 and just revisit it like after Octo?
Well, no, I don't do that. That's like, that's stupid, man. Go big or go home, dude, right? But
well, it was one of the few times I've been able to see, at least in a race, where you have to make that like split decision, and Poison's like, you know what, we're switching routes, and you just you ran right through it, man.
Yeah. After missing C3 those couple times, I'm like, I didn't feel so confident with it right now. Like, to try it again, that would even be more time lost. I was like, I'm just going the other route,
Yeah, that stupid trick is like, sometimes you're just not feeling it.
Yeah. I thought I got it the first time. Like, I swear I was, you know how it is, man.
Yeah.
You swear you're on that frame, but it's just one frame off or something.
Getting like, I blame subpixels.
So it's all subpixels, dude, for sure.
Well,
but yeah, that was a good race. That was fun, man.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most fun races I've had so far.
Yeah, you got your revenge, man, from last year.
Yeah, we're 1 for 1. We'll have to see each other in 2022.
Yeah, definitely the tiebreaker, dude. Well, good luck in the rest of the tournament, man.
Thanks, man.
Hope you go all the way, dude.
Oof, best of 5 is gonna be rough for whoever gets there.
Yeah. Well, good luck, man. GG.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, GG, man. Yo, Mines, thanks for doing this on short notice, actually.
No, dude, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, it's great to see Mega Man X hosted on the Speed Gaming channels. We've got a bunch of runs happening. We're closing out the loser bracket, but we do have the finals being, again, that best of 5. So keep your eyes open. We'll have more stuff coming to you soon. Fly, Poison, anything else you guys want to say before we go ahead and cut it?
No, thanks. Thanks, SGL and Feasel.
Yeah, I second that, and hope everybody has a safe life and a great life, and just spread the love, baby.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Agreed. All right, everybody, that's been us. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will talk to you next time.
Yep. Peace.
Later.